2 billion social media followers, $10 billion in revenue. And yet, the NBA is facing its biggest financial crisis ever. In 2024, basketball ratings have hit rock bottom, with a 73% decline since 1989. Something's not adding up, and today, we're going to show you why. The NBA and WNBA are facing financial challenges that could reshape professional basketball as we know it. This isn't just about empty seats or lower TV ratings. It's about the very survival and evolution of the games we love. When we look at the broader picture, these struggles represent a fundamental shift in how sports entertainment works in today's digital age. The stakes here are incredibly high. We're talking about leagues that have historically been cultural powerhouses, shaping entertainment, fashion, and social movements. The NBA alone was generating $10 billion in revenue just a few years ago. But now, both leagues are at a crossroads, facing challenges that nobody could have predicted even a decade ago. Think about this. Basketball isn't just a sport anymore. It's part of a massive entertainment ecosystem. When these leagues struggle financially, it affects everyone from the players and coaches to the stadium workers and local businesses. In cities where basketball is a major draw, these financial challenges can have ripple effects throughout the entire community. What makes this situation particularly interesting is how it reflects broader changes in our society. The way people consume entertainment has fundamentally changed, and sports leagues are racing to catch up. Traditional TV viewership might be down, but engagement with basketball content on social media platforms is through the roof. The question is, how do you monetize all those likes and shares? The relationship between the NBA and WNBA adds another layer of complexity to this story. With the NBA owning about 60% of the WNBA, their financial destinies are alike. When one league struggles, it inevitably affects the other. This connection has become even more significant as both leagues navigate these challenging times. Now that we understand the stakes, let's break down the three major challenges hitting basketball right now. And believe me, they're bigger than you might think. First, viewership is taking a serious hit. NBA games are seeing double-digit percentage drops in ratings, with fewer people tuning in to watch full games. Traditional TV viewership just isn't what it used to be, and the numbers are scary. But it's not just about fewer eyeballs on screens. The whole way people watch basketball has changed. Back in the day, fans would plan their evenings around game time. Now, they're more likely to catch highlights on their phones or follow live updates on social media. This shift has created a massive challenge for leagues that built their business models around traditional broadcasting. The second challenge is even more concerning. Sponsorship deals are drying up. Major brands that once poured millions into basketball are now pulling back or walking away completely. This isn't just affecting the NBA. The WNBA is feeling it too, even as they're seeing record attendance at games. What's interesting is how this reflects a broader change in sports marketing. Companies are becoming more selective about where they spend their advertising dollars, and they're demanding more concrete returns on their investments. Consider when a major sponsor pulls out, it's not just about losing their money. It affects everything from arena operations to player salaries. Some teams are having to rethink their entire financial strategies, and smaller market teams are feeling the pinch particularly hard. The third challenge is perhaps the most complex. There's a massive disconnect between old and new ways of consuming basketball content. While TV ratings are down, the NBA has over 2 billion social media followers worldwide. That's an incredible number. But all those likes and shares aren't necessarily turning into revenue. The leagues are sitting on a goldmine of engagement, but they haven't quite figured out how to turn it into actual gold. This challenge extends to how teams market themselves and connect with fans. The traditional methods of fan engagement, television commercials, billboard advertisements, and radio spots just don't have the same impact they used to. Teams are having to reinvent their entire marketing strategies while still maintaining their traditional revenue streams. Before we dive deeper into these challenges, here's something that might surprise you. Women's sports are seeing unprecedented growth. The women's NCAA tournament is breaking viewership records, and female athletes are becoming household names. Yet paradoxically, the WNBA is still struggling financially. So why is all this happening? The answer lies in a perfect storm of cultural, technological, and economic factors that have been brewing for years. the entire attention economy has transformed. Think about what you're competing with now. Netflix shows that drop entire seasons at once, endless TikTok scrolling, video games that offer immersive experiences, and social media platforms that serve up perfectly curated content. Basketball isn't just competing with other sports anymore. It's competing with literally everything else that could occupy someone's time. Let's talk about the money side of things, because it gets interesting here. The WNBA is expecting to lose $40 million this season, even with rising popularity and exciting new stars like Caitlin Clark. When you investigate these numbers, you start to see how complicated the business of basketball has become. The NBA owns about 60% of the WNBA, which means these losses affect both leagues. NBA stakeholders are getting frustrated, wanting to know more about their investment and when they might see returns. The player salary situation tells an important story too. WNBA players can now earn up to $241,984, the highest in the league's history, but they only get about 9.3% of league revenue, compared to NBA players' 50-50 split. This disparity is becoming harder to justify, especially when individual players like Caitlin Clark are driving huge portions of league revenue. We're seeing a growing disconnect between player value and compensation, and it's creating tension within both leagues. What makes this situation even more confusing is that the WNBA's financial struggles come at a time when women's sports are gaining momentum. We're seeing record-breaking attendance at women's college basketball games, massive social media followings for female athletes, and growing corporate interest in women's sports. Yet somehow, the WNBA is still projected to lose $40 million this season. This disparity between growing popularity and financial losses points to deeper structural issues in how the league operates and monetizes its product. The pandemic's impact can't be overlooked either. While most direct effects have faded, it accelerated many changes that were already in motion. The bubble tournaments and empty arenas forced both leagues to experiment with new ways of presenting and broadcasting games. Some of these changes turned out to be surprisingly successful, while others revealed just how much the in-person experience matters to basketball's appeal. After examining all these challenges and changes in the basketball landscape, here's where everything comes to a head. We're at a crucial turning point that could redefine professional basketball as we know it. Both leagues are negotiating new media rights deals that could change everything about how basketball is consumed and monetized. The NBA is working on agreements that could be worth around $76 billion over 11 years with companies like Disney and Amazon. But it's not just about the money. These deals represent a fundamental shift in how basketball will be delivered to fans. We're talking about streaming platforms becoming just as important as traditional TV networks. The WNBA just signed their own deal worth about $200 million per year, triple their previous agreement. This shows that despite all the challenges, there's still massive potential for growth and innovation in basketball. What makes this moment so critical is that it's not just about surviving current challenges. It's about setting up both leagues for long-term success in a rapidly changing entertainment landscape. The decisions being made right now will affect everything from how games are broadcast to how players are paid, and even how teams are structured. Think about the possibilities: personalized game streams, virtual reality experiences, and interactive content that lets fans feel like they're part of the action. The technology exists, it's just a matter of implementing it in a way that adds value for fans while generating revenue for the leagues. We're seeing experimental broadcasts that let viewers choose their camera angles, access real-time statistics, and even participate in live predictions and contests. And here's something exciting. These new deals could finally bridge the gap between social media engagement and revenue generation. With all these potential changes and challenges on the horizon, let's take a step back and look at everything we've covered. It's clear that basketball is at a crossroads. The financial challenges facing both the NBA and WNBA are serious, but they're not insurmountable. Both leagues are actively working to evolve with changing viewer habits and technological advances. The success of these efforts will depend on their ability to balance traditional revenue streams with new digital opportunities while keeping both fans and players happy. What's particularly fascinating is how these challenges are forcing both leagues to rethink their entire business models. The relationship between the NBA and the WNBA will likely evolve too. As both leagues adapt to new market realities, we might see closer collaboration or even new joint ventures that leverage their combined strengths. And with that, we reach the end of today's video. How do you watch basketball these days? Are you still tuning in to full games, or are you more of a highlights person? Drop a comment below and share your thoughts. And make sure to check out our video on the future of sports entertainment in the digital age. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell to stay updated on all our videos.